Hello, all of you professional gamers out there in the world. I am Mega Amster, and I have another just a small discussion video for all of you. Since there's really not a lot of news going on that I wanted to kind of talk about, but I figured, every once in a while make a small video. But this has been on my mind for the last month or so. Um, about a month ago, I think it was about a month ago, I started playing Ocarina of Time 3D on my new 3DS XL, which I'm enjoying very much. A lot better than the original model I used to have. I have an unboxing of this guy on the channel if you want to go check that out. But anyways, I figured, I got the new 3DS XL about a month ago, maybe a little over. And I was thinking, I should find, if I have any 3DS games in my backlog, I should go ahead and play through those, take advantage of the new hardware, right? And Ocarina of Time 3D was one of those games. And I was like, I should play through this. And so, yeah, I'm about a third to a half of the way through. And so I played. I guess it was a little preface. I played Majora's Mask 3D back in October of 2020 when that was right around the 20th anniversary. So I figured, yeah, why not? We'll play through this. And now, originally, before playing either of these remakes, I had played both on the Zelda Collector's Edition way back, like 7, 8 years ago. I mean, not that long ago, honestly, in the grand scheme of things, but it was a while ago. And when I played those, I was absolutely enthralled by Ocarina of Time. It was one of the first Zelda games I ever played. It was the first 3D game I played, and it was magical to me. And then Majora's Mask I played like right after, and it was good, but I was also having some issues with like the disc kept freezing at this one spot, and I think it was right when you climb up to you climb up the Stone Temple Tower right before you get into the fourth dungeon. It kept freezing on me, so that kind of ruined it. And also, just playing it right after Ocarina of Time, I think just really made me not appreciate Majora's Mask as much. However, when I played through Majora's Mask 3D back in October of 2020, I absolutely loved it. Like it was a similar feeling to what I felt with Ocarina of Time back in the day. So I gotta take a little drink of water, maybe a little coffee too. Don't have my Zelda shirt, but I got the mug, so that counts, right? Anyways, I loved Majora's Mask 3D, and the thing is, before playing those versions, even one of my friends had told me, yeah, like it's not looked as fondly upon as the original version. And I was kind of curious as to why. I've heard some of the reasons. I know a lot of people think they made some of the bosses easier, especially the first dungeon boss, Adowa. I don't know how to pronounce any of the bosses' names. I don't know. I'm not even gonna try. You know which one I'm talking about. They made it a lot easier, and granted, they did, but it also, I don't think that really makes the game worse. It just allows more players to be able to actually get through the boss fight. Kind of, I guess if that makes sense. It would if they had done the opposite thing and made it more difficult, that'd be a different story. That'd be gatekeeping more players. But I think that did that. I think they did that, made it easier to make it more accessible. I know that's a common complaint. I know another one is about the Zora swimming mechanics are actually worse in the 3DS version. I don't really remember the original version swimming mechanics at all, so I can't really tell you, but I didn't find it too bad in 3D. Um, I mean, I think in either way it was a little clunky. It could be smoother either way, but I didn't think they were too bad. Now, the main thing that made me love this game, and granted, I went through a similar experience in the original, but the 3DS remake is just better in comparison, is for the side quests. I mean, that's the main part, or not the, it kind of is the main part of Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask is a fairly short Zelda game all in all, especially if you only do the dungeons. You could only do the four dungeons and then just be good. You wouldn't get the true final ending. In order to do that, you have to get all the masks, which requires doing a lot of the side quests. But even then, you can still, you don't have to get all the pieces of heart. You don't have to get all the empty bottles, which I didn't do on my when I played the original version, my first playthrough. I did get all the masks though to fight off against Majora, the true final boss. However, when I played the 3DS remake, I did everything 100%, and the main reason for that was because the Bomber's Notebook that they introduced in the 3DS remake made the side quests all the better. Like originally, I mean, even the original game, this world in Majora's Mask is so immersive, and there's so much personality to it. There's so much going on. And I think, like the title of this video suggests, I think that's why I honestly like Majora's Mask 3D more than Ocarina of Time 3D. Originally, like I said, I loved Ocarina of Time when I first played through it, and it was like a magical experience to me. That's a similar feeling to what I felt with Majora's Mask 3D. Now that I'm playing through Ocarina of Time 3D, I'm really starting to notice some of its flaws. And I don't even think it's my favorite Zelda game anymore. I think Majora's Mask is my favorite. The Bomber's Notebook in the 3DS remake just makes the side quests all the better. It really, because it really incentivizes you to go after the side quests. In the original game, a lot of the side quests are kind of challenging. I remember, I mean, I was younger back then too, so I mean, I had to use a guide for a lot of the side quests to get even just the masks. But with the Bomber's Notebook, I mean, I think I might have used a guide like a couple times here and there in the 3DS remake, but the Bomber's Notebook makes everything so much easier to keep track of. It tells you like exactly what time or generally what time frame that a certain event in a side quest happens, and then you can set an alarm to remind you like a few minutes before, hey, don't forget this is happening. You got to be here at this time. It's such a cool idea, and being able to keep track of everything. I think if I remember correctly, it distinguishes between like optional side quests as well, or different kinds of side quests based on the character in the game. And there's just yeah, it's so much easier to keep track of everything. And I think because there's so much background story to explore with all of these different characters that really flush out the world of Majora's Mask, and you can just not go after some of that stuff. If you want the true final ending, then yeah, I mean you got to collect all the masks, but being able to have it all in like a list to keep track of just makes it so much easier. And I think that alone, I think, really made me appreciate Majora's Mask so much more when playing the 3DS remake. Um, so yeah, it's just I think that makes me enjoy it overall better. Just there's so much. One thing I'm really noticing with Ocarina of Time, the original and the 3DS remake, there's a lot of environment to explore, but not a lot in that environment. And I feel like that in the world building isn't nearly as strong as Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask is overall, I think it's a shorter game than Ocarina of Time, but it's much more condensed and focused in Majora's Mask. You have like a set area to work with, and it's just I think the developers had a clear vision of what they wanted to do. You know, they had Ocarina of Time be this big open adventure game. Majora's Mask uses similar assets, but way more focused and condensed. And I really think it shows in just the amount of stuff there is to do in the overworld. Like compare Termina Field to Hyrule Field and Ocarina of Time. Like it's kind of night and day. Like Hyrule Field is so big, and so is Termina Field. Termina Field's actually pretty big, but it doesn't feel nearly as big because there's so much to do. It's you're not just wandering around or rolling, or as young Link rolling around or sidestepping around or riding around on Epona as adult Link. It's honestly fun to explore Termina. Hyrule Field and Ocarina is a little, it's dragging a little for me right now. I'm about almost halfway through the game, and there's just that's one thing I've really noticed is just how much more focused Majora's Mask is in its overworld and in its world building. There's so much lore going on with all the characters that are being affected by this giant moon about to crash on them in 3 days. And yeah, the time mechanic I can see as stressful for a lot of people. I kind of like it. There were a lot of close moments I had in Majora's Mask 3D where I was literally freaking out because I was like, I have like 5 minutes left. I have to rewind time. I have to beat this dungeon and rewind time now. And it was a good kind of pressure. It was like pressuring me to really try to. I literally could have. There were a few times where I would have gotten a game over, but I somehow pulled through. But it's just I don't really know how to fully explain it. But it was just so much more engaging and immersive. I mean, granted, I haven't beaten Ocarina of Time 3D yet, but I've played through it before, and I'm now seeing okay. I may have been blinded by nostalgia a little bit when saying I really like Ocarina of Time more than Majora's Mask, but now I think it's the other way around. I think I really like Majora's Mask more than Ocarina of Time because the Bomber's Notebook just makes the side quests so much easier to do, and then because the side quests are honestly they're the best part about Majora's Mask in general, just seeing all the other characters, how they're reacting to this whole moon situation, and literally seeing their lives like about to end in front of them. It's literally heart wrenching. Especially, the one that comes to mind is the Anju and Cafe, if I'm saying that right. Their side quest that lasts all 3 days. It's heart wrenching. It's honestly, I think I actually cried. I think I might have cried during that. Um, but just having the Bomber's Notebook there just incentivizes doing all these side quests. I 100% completed Majora's Mask 3D. Ocarina, I don't know if I'm feeling it. I don't know if I'm going to, but that bomber, I wish Ocarina 3D had the Bomber Notebook to keep track of everything I needed to do because it made me want to do the side quests way more in Majora's Mask 3D. And as a result, I got to see everything in the game or almost everything. There might have been a couple things I missed and really appreciate it for what it is and just the story and the background lore behind it all. And yeah, that's about. I don't want to go on too long. We're already at 10 minutes, so I'm probably gonna cut it off here. But that's pretty much what I wanted to say. I was originally just gonna make a tweet about this or whatever, but I figured, you know what? I feel like talking. I feel like being in front of the camera and talking for a bit. And I want to know all of your opinions. I know Majora's Mask 3D isn't seen as good of a remake as Ocarina 3D was, and I want to know why. You know, if you maybe you don't like the Bomber's Notebook, or maybe you really think the swimming mechanics ruin the game, or making the bosses easier ruin the game. Um, or maybe let me know if it's just the overall game, even the original version. Maybe it's not just the remake, maybe it's the original too that you don't like. Let me know in the comments below, and if you're interested in any other content, I am streaming some Animal Crossing coming up this Sunday. Um, and I'm trying to do like twice a week streams, just kind of go with that. But yeah, let me know in the comments like what your opinions are. If I'm wrong, let me know if I'm wrong, because I mean, everybody has a wrong opinion on the internet, right? That's why it's an opinion. It's just fact. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you did watch all the way through, and yeah, if you've played both, let me know what you think. And yeah, otherwise, I will see you all in another video or on the next stream. Take care.